Hello, everyone. Oh, I feel like it's been a while since I talked to you. Okay, so make sure you subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Email me, talk to pfc@yahoo.com. It's in the about. Look, I'm going to talk about some of these things here real quick, but I cannot stress enough. There are no words or anything that I could say to explain, to express, to get people to understand or what. I think I'm coming to the conclusion that God has... There'll always be a remnant, but I believe certain people, God is speaking to people, showing people things or whatever. I'm just telling y'all right now that there's too many things taking place around the world, not just in this country, around the world, that are pointing to God's return, to the return of Jesus Christ, to the last days, to the end of this world as we know it. So I cannot stress enough to everybody that if you're a Christian, to talk to people. If you're not, give your life to Christ, because that is the only thing that is guaranteed. The only thing. Alright, so Reuters reported, this is huge, okay? This, what I'm going to talk about right now, this first subject and the last subject I'm going to talk about tied together. So you need to watch to the end, because, well, if you don't, you don't. If people don't know, they don't know. I don't know. Okay, Reuters reported that China has warned the United States, for, I don't even know how long now, a couple years, whatever. We have been sending our ships, and it's international waters, so the South China Sea, where China built all these artificial islands and all this stuff. And truth be told, China's fed up with it. I mean, and they asked a question, and it's a legit question, and y'all, I don't agree with China not one bit, okay? I'm sure the Chinese people as a whole, majority, probably don't feel the same way as the vast China Communist Party does. However, you take that with a grain of salt, it is what it is. Okay, so, let me just tell you, Reuters reported that China warned, or excuse me, I'm wrong. It's Global Times reported that China warned. This is the quote from China, okay? The U.S. will definitely see the PLA, People's Liberation Army, show up at its doorstep. End quote. That is the quote from China over us sending ships into the South China Sea. They said, we're going to see how America likes a taste of their own medicine. You got to read the whole article. They said, we'll see how America likes getting a taste of their own medicine. This article was put out September 9th. You go look it up. Okay? They said, we're going to see how America likes a taste of their own medicine when the PLA shows up at their doorstep, meaning they're going to send ships off our west and east coast. Now, that in itself, if we had a legitimate president, if we had a commander-in-chief who was not senile, had beginning stages of dementia, and was not controlled by the deep state, that in itself, to me, is a threat. That's a threat of war. There's international waters, and technically there ain't nothing we can do about it. If they want to, send their ships and navigate those waters, they have that right. Okay, just like we have the right to go through international waters wherever we want. But when you tell someone that's intentional, that's different. And we're not building artificial islands, a defense parameter out into the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. Just saying. Reuters reported that China, Taiwan, Vietnam, the Philippines, Japan, all of them got together and are raising a stink over South China Sea and how basically China is dominating it. And there was a submarine Chinese submarine showed up off the coast of Japan this past weekend. And just a lot of stuff. They're just antagonizing people. But Reuters reported China warned Vietnam, Japan, the Philippines, Taiwan about magnifying disputes over the South China Sea. Basically, they said, you guys better stop complaining about this. There's going to be big consequences. Well, here's something that a lot of people don't talk about or whatever. A big part of, number one, I've said in the past why they want Taiwan, is they think it's part of their mainland, but it's not. Number two, Taiwan produces, I believe it's 80-some% of the computer chips that are used in everything, from cell phones, laptops, vehicles, everything around the world. But the deal with the South China Sea is, number one, yes, China wants to build a buffer around their country. Okay? On one hand, I can understand that, but everybody wants to have a good defense. But on the other hand, you don't have the right to just do what you want with the ocean. I mean, that affects everybody, especially when you have other countries and stuff that close to, like we don't have nothing off the West Coast, for example, the Pacific. The nearest island is Hawaii. But you understand what I'm saying. So, but here's the thing that this report, if you actually read through it, and they make a very good point here. Those waters, number one, there are billions and billions of dollars in trade that flow through those waters every year, okay? Number two, it's good fishing grounds, and there's large gas fields there in the ocean where they drill down in the ocean to get natural gas, crude oil, all these things. So, here's something you got to keep in mind. The population of China, I don't even know what, 1 billion people or something, I don't know, it's huge. Imagine what it takes just to feed and fuel and run that economy, that country, however you want to look at it, for even 1 month. So if they can take control of the South China Sea and these territories, imagine how much, just the fishing alone, imagine how much food that's going to produce for China. If there's good natural gas or crude oil. China buys like 70% of their oil from other countries. It's imported because they cannot produce enough to run their country. That was why, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months ago, they made the deal with Iran to buy every drop of oil they produce. So you need to keep those type things in mind. Now, back to what I was saying in the beginning here about China giving that warning. You guys can go on YouTube. Hal Turner had a big thing on this last week. And there's all kinds of videos on YouTube and everywhere else. They are moving hundreds, if not thousands, of tanks, armored personnel carriers, Humvees, fuel tank, everything that you would need for a war, basically, to the West Coast, okay? Or all over the West, really. From the west of the Mississippi to the ocean, basically, it's moving all over the country. And people are, what in the world's going on here? Well, their supposed excuse is they're expecting a civil uprising, a civil unrest in the United States. Well, let me be the first to tell you, if you do have a civil unrest, uprising in the United States, you do not need hundreds, let alone thousands, of M1 Abram tanks. You don't need armored personnel carriers and all this garbage. This is an excuse. I believe they know China's heading this way. I believe Biden is bought by them. I believe Biden is more than willing to let China roll up in here because, for one, the jab situation, and two, he don't care about us, this country, or anything else. Joe Biden cares about Joe Biden and his bank account, and that's it, period. Look, I'm telling y'all something right now. This whole jab situation is... the truth about it's going to come out here real soon. And the bottom line is, this is population control. I don't care if you buy that, believe that, or anything else. They have a plan with this jab, and they're going to use it. And they're going to implement it here very soon. I've been saying it, excuse me, and I'm going to keep on saying it. It's a tool that they're going to use to grab power to force people to do things. And the bottom line is, they already came out with this mandate garbage. That's just the beginning. I'm telling you right now, if not the end of this year, by the very beginning of next year, if you don't take it, you're not going to work. You're not going to get health care. They're going to try to mess with your finances. You name it. But here's where they're going to cross the line, is when they try to actually start forcing millions of people out of their jobs, number one. And number two, the final step, I pray is the final step, because if it isn't, it'll be my final step, is when they come and try to take our kids because they're living in an unsafe environment. I'm telling you guys, I've been saying it, and I'm going to keep on saying it. That is their plan. That is their goal. And they don't care one iota what you, I, or Johnny down the road thinks. They are going to do whatever they have to do to force their will on us. And that is when we all are going to be fighting in the streets. Literally fighting in the streets. It's coming. It's coming very fast. And I pray that all of you guys are ready and prepared as you can be for this. But mainly that you are spiritually prepared. Because this is no longer a game. This is real. And what they're getting ready to do is literally going to be hell on earth. Alright guys, I got to get out of here. You guys have a great day. Stay safe, stay prepared, pray. And I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe. God bless.